To help you better understand arrays, I'm going back to one of my killer PHP videos where I discuss arrays in PHP. And you see these two images here. So you see a normal variable holds one piece of information. As it says right here, a standard variable holds only one piece of information. An array holds many pieces of information, each in its own slot, like an egg carton. So I'm hoping that these little images here will help you to understand the difference between a standard variable, which holds one piece of information, versus an array object, which can hold many different pieces of information. Okay, let's get back to the code now. And so we got our array using the special new keyword and array to tell JavaScript to create an array. So this is the array now. The array is stored within the variable products. Now let's start adding things to the array. So we go products, square brackets, 0. I'll explain to you what this all means in a second. And of course, with every statement, we got to end with a semicolon. So we have our first product in the array. Let's add another product. So we have a few products in our array now, and I'm hoping that you guys have guessed what these numbers are for. This is essentially the index position. You can think of it as a page number for the item in the array. It helps JavaScript find the items later on. So this is in the first position. Arrays, they start to count at 0, of course. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc., etc. So you got the position 1 through 2, 0 through 2. So you got 3 objects in the array. Just to be complete, I want you to know that you don't have to be sequential. You can go 0, 1, 2, 3, and you can go 44, and it doesn't matter. Of course, this gives the array 43 slots, if you will, right? Because we're always starting at 0. Well, it gives us 44. So that's actually 45. Anyway, you get the idea. So we got our array here. So all this information is contained in this one variable, products. So that's pretty good. So because array is an object, right? And if we go back to our object diagram, array is an object. Each object has a whole bunch of functions associated with it. So now we can access these functions that are associated with array, and these functions can provide a lot of information for us about the particular object. So let's see how that works. So we go products dot. Now you see this drop-down list that Dreamweaver, I'm using Dreamweaver now, gives us. As you can see, Dreamweaver sees that the products variable is an array, so Dreamweaver is smart enough to see what functions are associated with this array. So that's pretty cool. So there's all kinds of functions here, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to go for one of the common ones, length. Now that doesn't do anything unless we console that out, perhaps. Let's just use alert for the sake of speed here. And I'm just going to go like this. So let's see what happens. So I've loaded the page, so let's see what happens. Hit refresh. And of course we get an alert of 45, right? Because there are 45 objects, spaces in the array. So the length of the array tells you how many objects. So basically, by going products and giving this last product an index position of 44, we've actually created a bunch of blank spaces, empty spots within the array. So let's turn this to 3, and we'll refresh that. As we can see, we get 4. We get 4 items in the array. So it's this length function basically reads how many items are in the array and gives it back to us. This is important to understand because we can now use this with a for loop to get all the items out of the array for us. So let's take a look at that. So let's take a look at our little loop here. So we're using the standard for loop. So we've initialized it to 0. So we're saying here, while I is less than products.length, And we know now the length is 4. Well, it's less than 4. We increment it 1, 1, and we print out this products I. So that basically tells JavaScript to print out whatever is in products I. So that would be, at first would be 0, then 1, 2. So we're going to get these values here. So let's, then I add a break. So we've seen this before. So let's take a look at this page and then we'll see. See, here we go. Hairspray, shoes, flowers, hairspray again. So why did we get hair? Oh, because I printed hairspray here twice again. Let's change that to socks. There we go. Hairspray, shoes, flowers, socks. You see how we've now used the for loop to loop through the values in our array products, right? Var products. And then we've used the document.write, basically the write method, the write function rather, inside of the document object to print out whatever the products array was holding. So you have to understand when you use this syntax here, products, bracket, bracket, you're telling JavaScript to print out whatever happens to be in this slot here. So let me make that clear. So if I go here, I go, you see Dreamweaver is code completing for us, which is kind of cool. Helps you if you don't remember things. So I'm just going to put this here. So we're going to go product. I'm going to just, so you understand what I'm doing. I say product this. So I'm going to document.write that out. So what I want you to understand here, document, so I'm going to just products 2. So that statement here, that command here is basically telling JavaScript that we want to print out whatever happens to be in the second, well in this case, the third slot of products. So we should get flowers. So let's see what that does for us here. There we go, flowers, right? So I'm hoping that this will help you understand better what's going on here, because as we're going through the loop here, this I is actually changing, right? Because we're saying, change the value of I with every loop. So it's going from 0, then this becomes 1, then it becomes 2, and becomes 3, etc. So here, I just used this simply. I said products 2, basically telling JavaScript again to pull out the second item in our, the third item in our array, which is, of course, flowers. And that's what we got here.